الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. نريد الشكر. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وقضى ربك ألا تعبدوا إلا إياه وبالوالدين إحسانا إما يبلغن عندك الكبر أحدهما أو كلاهما فلا تقل لهما أف ولا تنهرهما وقل لهما قولا كريما. صدق الله العظيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
All praise and blessings be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord of the universe. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us another day. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the opportunity again to come to the masjid to spend a few moments in the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to ponder over this last week that we have had since we last had a chat. And again, it is a time for us to reflect and think of the blessing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. And today's topic is a favorite of all of the kids because we get to speak about parents and how we should be towards them, how we should act with them, how we should speak to them, all of the things that they don't want to hear, they will be hearing today. In itself, hiding me either. So, but don't worry, Seth, there's both ways as well. There's the responsibilities that parents have upon their children as well. We'll go both ways, just to keep you happy. When we talk about shukr and being grateful, this is the first thing that we should be grateful for, is having a family. Having a family is so important because we have somebody to fall back on, somebody who we can speak to, somebody who is there for us, and somebody who cares for us. There's not a condition for caring when it comes to family. just being blood is enough, and this is what connects and joins people together. But an even greater connection that we have is the kalima that we read, and this is something that keeps us even closer. So this is the first thing that we should always do, is to do shukr, to be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all of the blessings that have been given to us, and the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted us with a family, and those that still have parents. When it comes to parents, Allah mentions in the Quran, وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. That the Quran ayah mentions that Allah has commanded us أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ. The first thing, that we worship none other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Tawheed. Tawheed is the first part. That we understand that there is only one Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who provides for us, and Allah is the one who gives, and Allah will be the one who continues to give. So this is the first thing. So this is the, it's like a foundation. The very famous hadith Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned, بُنِيَ الْإِسْلَامُ عَلَىٰ خَمْسٍ شهادة أن لا إله إلا الله وأن محمد رسول الله وإقام الصلاة وإيتاء الزكاة والحج وصوم رمضان. So we got the 5 pillars of Islam are mentioned. So a lot of people, they think that a person who does these 5 things, they are a complete Muslim. They do everything, they are done, they don't have to worry about anything else. That they believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they believe in Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they pray their salah, they give their zakah, and they fast during the month of Ramadan, and they perform Hajj. But these are just the foundations. And the best way to explain is a house, a building. It is up, it is standing. So this is the foundation that you have. It's up there. Now the next stage is, you're not just going to leave the house just like that. You're going to furnish it. You're going to put a bed in it. It'll be a kitchen, a sofa, all of these things to make your life easy for you. You will furnish that house with it. And this is how you will complete your house. So in the same way, in order to complete and perfect our deen, there are all of these different acts of worship that we can do. And amongst them, one is the respecting of the parents and treating the parents in the best way. وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentions straight after Tawheed, straight after the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah says, وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا, and to treat your parents with kindness. Now when it comes to kindness, it is, how should we speak with our parents? This is the first thing that we can go into. That a person should but this is not only a condition for just the parents, but every single person, whoever we speak to. We speak to them with the utmost respect. This is the quality of a Muslim. Now whenever we want to speak to anyone, we speak to them in the best way. We don't speak in a harsh tone. We don't swear. We speak in the best way possible. We speak politely. We speak with a low tone. Not shouting, not screaming, all of these things. It is not the way that a Muslim should speak. So whether it is our parents or whether it is anybody else, we speak in the most respectful manner. And this is, it goes on, the ayah, it continues, إِمَّا يَبْلُغَنَّ عِنْدَكَ الْكِبَرَ أَحَدُهُمَا أَوْ كِلَاهُمَا. It speaks about when the parents get to an older age, whether one of them or another one gets to an older age, or both of them. And it continues, فَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفٍّ. To not even say uff. And the Mufassirin have gone into a bit of detail when they talk about uff. Uff has many different categories, and so much can be put under that branch. It is, making a tutting sound, or muttering something under your breath, or so many other things that a person can react when something has not gone in their favor, especially when it comes from their parents. But as children, we have to understand that our parents will always want the best for us. No parents wants the worst for their child. And the reason why they say it, whatever it is that they are saying that you're not understanding, it is because they have experienced it in their life. They might have had it with their parents and they want to do something differently. Or because the time that they were living compared to the time now is totally different. What you could get away with then, it is not possible now. That the way the world works now is much different to what is happening now. And to understand that there's a reason for everything that your parent does. There's a reason for it. It's not just because they feel like it. It's not that they woke up in the morning, which child am I going to annoy today? No, they don't have, your mom and dad don't wake up in the morning and they have a paper, a bowl with some paper in it, and they pick out the name, let's choose this one today. This is not what they do. They want the best for each and every one of us. I'm saying us because I'm still at the same stage as well. Sometimes I'll get a phone call from my mom or dad and they'll say, do this and do that. And in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered. Why do I have to do this or why do I have to do that? But there's a reason for it. And it is their way of training us as well. A way for us to get reward. That's another thing. It is a way for us to get reward. And it's something that we have to do. And majority of the time, it's something that we don't want to do. For all the children that are sitting here, do you all want to wake up early in the morning and go to school? Do you? Or would you rather be in your bed sleeping? Do you like waking up in the morning early? Yes? No? No. Ahmed says no. Doesn't like waking up early in the morning. But you have to do it. Why? Because it's the law, number one. Secondly, you have to go and get an education. And thirdly, your mom and dad need a break from you in the morning as well. It's their time to get away from you. That's not the actual thing, but it's a part of it. So, this is something which has to be done in order for you to progress as a person. So in the same way, you're doing something that you don't want to do. So the same with your parents, when they say to you, get up and tidy your room, or if they say, get the table ready for eating, or whatever it may be. You can take my key and open it. So when our parents say to us, do this and do that, it is a test for not just whether we can do our household duties or not, but for even bigger things. Which is, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands us to do something, are we able to do it or not? This is what the biggest training is for. That if we are able to listen to our parents, then we are training ourselves to be able to listen to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because this is one of the commands from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is to respect and to obey your parents. Now a person who is able to do this, when the time for salah comes, they're able to wake up and they're able to get up and they read their salah. Whereas if a person who never listens to anything that they are being told to do, it is going to be very difficult. Why? Because they've not had that training. And this is a message for the parents. That the parents need to stay on top of the children. You don't let them dictate you. You have to make sure that you are the one in charge. You are the one who tells them this is how it's going to be and there will be no other way. We are living in a society now, back when those that are parents now, we did not, and I put myself in that category as well, we would never have the guts to speak or say anything back to our parents. Even if we didn't like it, we would just sit there, we would listen, and we would make a few faces, but that was about it. We would not be able to say anything. And this would work. Nowadays it's become completely different, where there's always there's like a war going on in the houses. That one says something, the next one says something back, and it's just back and forth, back and forth. So the first part is that the first advice is don't speak too much. As parents, don't speak too much. If you're going to keep on saying and saying and saying and saying, the kid gets it in their head that he's always saying something anyway. Or the mum will say, or they'll say that the mum, she's always saying something anyway. She just keeps on going on and on and on. So if we speak too much, then it will never go to the kid. The kid will not listen anymore. But if we are strong and abrupt and we are careful with the words that we use as well, to speak with wisdom, not to just speak for the sake of speaking. This is a very important thing as well. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam taught us many different ways and how we can speak and what we can do. It is very important that we don't treat every single situation as the exact same. If the child leaves their plate at the table and doesn't put it in the sink, it's not the same punishment that they get for if they have hurt another person, or if they have swore, or if they have missed their salah. This is another thing as well. That how many of us as parents do we even ask our child, did you pray your salah? How many of us as parents are we praying our salah? If we ourselves are not going to pray our salah, how can we expect our child to pray salah? That I have to always understand as a parent that I am the first role model that my child will see. If I am not making that effort, who is going to come into my house and make that effort for me? We ourselves have to do it. And this is the most important thing. That we have to make sure and take that responsibility. Allah has blessed us with these children. Now we have to do something about it. Because the children, they will speak. When they grow up, when they stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they will say, Ya Allah, my mom, my dad, never did they ever tell me to read salah in the house. Never did they tell me to open up the Quran. Never did we sit as a family together and read. Never did we speak about deen. That if we don't do it, then nobody else is going to come and do it for us. So we have to make sure that we take that responsibility upon ourselves. This is what it means by, when Allah has blessed us with these children. Like it's mentioned, that every single time a child is born, it is born upon fitrah, and the fitrah is that they are Muslim. It is only after that the parents choose whether he is going to be a Yahud, a Nasara, or Majus, or a Muslim. So this is upon us. So once we have chosen for them to be a Muslim, once we have given them that kalima, then the next stage is we show them the way of life that the Prophet ﷺ used to live in. Once we have that, then we can expect for them to become good Muslims. We can't just, leave them there and expect them to know everything by themselves. So we have to do the action as well. It's not just enough to say do this and do this and do that. If they see us doing it, a child, they see their father, they see their dad going to work every single day. And the dad will come back and he explains, I go to work so we can provide for the family. You see the mom, sometimes she goes to work as well. Or she's helping she's doing everything in the house. So they have that picture in their head that everything is being done. And this is where we have to make sure that because all of these things which are being done, we see that the children see everything. Sometimes we forget that they might act like they don't know anything, but the children, they can see absolutely everything. If everybody can just stand up or maybe move closer and fill in all of the remaining gaps so that all the people coming in can have some space. And the younger boys, if they can all go upstairs, please. 12 and under, please, if you can go upstairs. Stay upstairs, sit nicely, sit quietly, and just keep on listening. Because this is all for you. You have space here, move forward, please. The Prophet ﷺ mentioned in a hadith that if people knew the reward for praying salah in the first saf, they would all fight with one another to pray in the first saf. The way that when people go to a football match or something, everybody wants to have front row seats. Nobody ever wants to front row seats in the masjid for some reason. You should always want to have the best when it comes to deen as well. And continuing on. A short summary. The children that we have, they are an amana, a trust from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the way we bring them up, they will either be a means for us to go into Jannah, or they will take us the other way, which we do not want. The way that they can take us to Jannah is if we educate them not just with dunya, but with deen as well. Dunya is important, don't forget that as well. Nobody is saying that just leave your child in the mosque. Teach them both. The way that they have the opportunity to learn about dunya, give them that same opportunity with deen as well. Let them choose their way. Let them love the deen as well. Let them love their religion. The only way they can love their religion is if they are taught the religion, if they are given the opportunity and the chance to learn their religion. Once you have given them that, once you have given them the opportunity to have that Islamic education, then you yourself practice upon it as well. Don't just leave it to them. They are kids at the end of the day. They have to see that it's important. If, majority of the time, the children, what they say is, if it was that important, then you would be doing it as well. Nowadays, they're very quick with the answers back. Dad's sitting there on the sofa, he's watching TV. Son, get up, it's time for namaz. Get up, it's time to pray. Then the son will turn by and say, if it's so important, why are you not praying? So that same way, we have to get up. We have to take that first step. That comes on, let's go to the masjid, let's go and pray. We have a lady section there as well. Bring your whole family. Bring the women, bring your daughters. The masjid is not just for men. At the time of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the women, they would always come to the masjid. They would come, they would have their gatherings. The whole purpose of, it is even more important nowadays, because if they don't come, they will never understand the importance of the masjid, what you can learn from the masjid. So the masjid is here for us so that we can learn from it. Not just so the women stay stuck at home. One of the issues that has always been mentioned from the ladies' side is that there's nothing for us. But now we have the area for the women to pray. And 5 times salah, it goes on here every single day. And if the women want to come, then they are welcome to come. Because this masjid is for everyone. And our deen is for everyone. And it is a way for us, anything that is going to bring a person closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we encourage it. And we want it to happen. We want every single person to have that same equal opportunity in getting close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Of course, there are all the other side things when it comes to fitna and all these things. But a person has to take it upon himself that I am coming to the masjid to get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not to come and do sin. Not to come and gain the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When a person comes to the masjid, they have to come with that intention that I am here just for Allah's worship. Nothing else. And this is where if we have the right intention, then the best thing can happen. So after a person has done the bringing up of his children, if he has done it in the right way, then what happens afterwards? That one day we have to leave the dunya. The parents, they leave. Sometimes the children go first, but majority of the time, the parents, they leave first. Then what happens if they have left behind a good child, one who has deen, one who understands deen, then they will become a means of sadaqah jariyah for him. Every single good deed that he will do, the parent gets rewarded for it. Every salah that a child will pray, his parents get rewarded for it. So there is benefit for it. When it comes to dunya, what happens is the parent, he leaves lots of estate and money and inheritance behind, and the children, they enjoy themselves. But this is an opportunity for them to give back to their parents. Now imagine those parents who did not put deen into their children's lives. They are the ones that are suffering today. They are the same ones, they will come to the Imam and say, what do I do? My child is gone, far away from deen. And then the simple answer is when it was time to bring them up. The biggest misconception that we have is my child is young. 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, they're still young. We're not going to say anything to them just yet. When they become a bit older, when they start high school, then we'll start speaking to them. This is the wrong way. Because when they are younger, that's when we can mold them. Whatever we teach them then, it will stick with them their whole life. Nabi mentioned in the hadith that when the child becomes the age of 7, this is when we should start to encourage them for salah, to wake them up to pray salah. What happens? Mom says, they have school in the morning. No, don't wake them up for Fajr salah. And so this is encouraging and teaching and implementing into their life that it's okay, sleep is more important than Fajr Salah. But if we get it to them, because we're all going to live in this country. We're living in this country and the Fajr time it changes like crazy. But this is what we have to instill into them, that this is going to be a part of your life. This is when Fajr is and this is when you're waking up and we are going to pray it. So if we do that from a young age, then it will stick within their lives. But if we don't do it from a young age, when we say we wait till they're older, then there will be difficulties, then they'll never wake up. So this is where we have to make sure that we try and do everything. It's like a person, he wants to, currently, myself in our house, we are going through the toilet training stage. If we wait till the kid is 12 years old, we'll teach him then. What kind of difficulty are we going to go through then? The teachers are, don't bring your kid to school. He's always dirtying his nappy at the age of 12 years old. So this is, we don't do it for these kind of things. Why is it for deen that we wait for so long afterwards? So understand that the most important thing is the tarbiyah from a young age. Tarbiyah is done from a young age. This is the most important thing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the understanding to act upon these things. Ameen wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.